Hey guys, what's up? Wow. Whew. It's been a while since I've shot a vlog in this tank top. Feeling a little washed out right now. Seriously? Of course, I did get my hair shaped. Remember I told you guys that the blonde from my highlights in the past was coming through, so I went back, and whenever I first get her to kind of wash that out, we're almost all done because it's grown out and it's like just this end. But when it shows through, like my hair starts getting this blonde tint all the way through it. And so this is taking me back, but it's always kind of a shock, number one. I haven't gone tanning in like 3 weeks. Exhibit A. Mr. Flo, there you go. You haven't been able to see that in a while. Whew. I did, what did I do yesterday? Did I do arms yesterday? I did Tony Horton's one-on-one, and I am feeling it, which I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, it just seems like whenever I get my hair darkened again, it's also coinciding with me not having a tan. So anyway, I almost said happy Monday. It's happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, it is Thursday. It has been an absolutely crazy week. I'm just checking. Sorry, I have a friend that I'm checking on who's due to have a baby like any second and is on bed rest, and so I'm checking in with her. But anyway, last night was the funeral of my friend Doug, and it was so, I mean, obviously nobody's gonna go to a funeral. It was fantastic, but it was so much harder than I thought. I mean, I spent all this past weekend, you know, crying the whole weekend and being upset. And then, you know, I thought, okay, I've come to terms with this, and it's still very sad, but whatever, but I thought it was okay. And then I got there, and there were so many people there, and it was quite a drive. But anyway, I went with my dad, and there were so many people there, and then you walk in, and you had to wait in line to go up for the viewing, and they just had all these pictures of, you know, when he and Alicia first started dating, and their kids, and him with the babies, and him with the, you know, his high school pictures. And I mean, there's all these people there, and it was just like, I walked in and I just started crying, and my dad's like, you know, I don't know, I think men are just generally stronger. And so we waited in line, and then once I got up and I saw Alicia again, that's his wife, I just lost it, and met his sister. I'd never met his sister before. And then, you know, I wrote this on Facebook, there's nothing that's going to prepare you for seeing your friend in a casket and knowing, like, you're just, I'm looking at him going, you know, it looks, of course it looks just like him, his face, and I'm like, why aren't you going to get up? Why aren't you going to make jokes? Why aren't you going to make fun of my dad? And I mean, this is just somebody that was so always happy and joking, and I mean, I've known him 12 years. And anyway, so that was rough last night, to say the least. But you know, you do what you got to do, and what I can do is pray for his family and do all I can to help. Golly, I feel very white and shallow talking about how white I feel when I'm talking about my friend. But anyway, so we're there's a lot of people that have pulled together to pull an educational fund for the kids, so I'll probably put the link up to that, because some of you have been asking if you could donate, and that would be awesome. And I'm still thinking about ways that I can help them over the next year. So anyway, thank you all. You're all so nice to have written me about that. And you know, again, it's just something that I've always, I don't want to say preached, it's not my position to preach, but it's just something that I've always said in the past, which is, you can't, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, okay? None of us are guaranteed to have, you know, next month to make things right with somebody, or to be the bigger person. And, you know, this is just a lesson I've learned over and over again. When September 11th first happened, which is what, almost 10 years ago, I mean, that just, it so struck me, because you know that there were people that went to work that day, or the people that were staying at home and had someone go to work that day, that were fighting, or hadn't, you know, been speaking with a relative or whatever, and that happens, and what's your first thought? I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have said I'm sorry, I wish I wouldn't have been such a jerk. You know what? Then you shouldn't. You know, you don't leave somebody and end things like that with somebody, or stop talking to somebody, or, you know, if you've got something in your gut that's telling you to apologize, or that you did the wrong thing, or that you need to come clean on something, then do it. I mean, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for somebody to die and then you regret it? It's just something that I've always had in my heart about trying to make things right, because you just don't know. You know, don't be scared. I used to be with my mom when I was younger. You know, I didn't want to be, I never wanted to be like, love you, and I never wanted to hug, and I was always just very reserved. And now I'm just this blathering fool that hugs everybody. I even hug people at the gas station. I'm just kidding about that. I'm just having issues today. Today. But anyway. Whoa, there's a lot going on down there. So, I was up again at 5 a.m. today. I've been up at 5 a.m. every day this week. And I gotta say, today was the one day that I was just, sorry, it looked like somebody was on my tongue. Today was one of the first days that I felt like I could relate to some things that Amy said, or I just felt like my run was like, I mean, I just was not feeling it. I mean, my legs were sore, and I think that's because I've really been kicking butt this week, and I feel good. I mean, you guys call me crazy, but I think I've lost a few pounds this week. Just this week. I don't weigh myself. I can tell the way my workout clothes are when I put them on, and, you know, just when I'm walking, I'm on my way, and that's kind of scary if that happened in, what, 4 days? Maybe it's also some leftover from last week, but I just, my legs were sore, my breathing was off. You know, maybe it's just stress. It's been a really, obviously, stressful week to be going through this, and then also have, you know, my dear friend who's on bed rest, and we're trying to, you know, she lives close, but we're trying to help her so that she's, like, literally could be induced in the next 24 hours. And we're trying to make sure that we're there because she's there alone. She's got these 2 dogs, and she's not supposed to be moving, and all that going on in the midst of, you know, our everyday lives and everything else that's going on, and then this funeral in the midst of everything. It's like, just stressful. And I got down there, see, I'm feeling it right now. Some of you were asking about feeling hot. My face is on fire right now. But, so am I. I'm not lying, I'm totally on fire. And there's so many great things coming up in the next couple of weeks. I just want you guys to stay tuned. So, I have a call with my, I'm not even gonna say it. I need to shut up and stop giving away the farm. But anyway, so I'm feeling good as far as consistency. I've done weights and my cardio and my running, and I've also not just done running, but I also did kickboxing. Today's Thursday, so I did running this morning, and then tomorrow I have a trip, which is kind of an all-day trip. Tomorrow's going to be a rough day. I'll probably be off. And then what I'll probably do on Saturday is a long run and weights as well. And then Sunday I usually take off. We'll have to see. I might do a different cardio or just some yoga later that day. Maybe Amy, I don't know. Do they have hot yoga on Sundays? Because that would be nice. I haven't had a massage in a while. I need to do that. Maybe tonight. Anyway, so I'm feeling really good about running. I have to be honest. Okay, here's my thing about the marathon, half marathon, is I feel totally great with running, and that this is this lifelong thing. I feel great with my progress. I'm up to like 6 miles an hour, pretty much is my pace, 5.5, 6 miles an hour. I've kind of just done some staggering, so I'm comfortable with that speed. And then I did some intervals where I would go down to like 4 miles an hour, kind of walk. Because at 4 miles an hour, you guys, that's fast for a walk. So I'll like walk at 3.5 or whatever, then I'll jack it up to 7 or 6.5 miles an hour, then I'll go back to 3.5, then I'll go up to 7 miles an hour, back to 3.5, up to 8 miles an hour, back to 3.5, so that, you know, I'm able to like get my heart rate way up there. And I do a minute on each of those. Those are the kind of intervals I've been doing. But it gets me so that my heart's more used to the higher speeds. This isn't anything I saw in a book or anything. It's just kind of like my way of getting my speed up. Because before this, I was doing more like 4.5, and then I was thinking about this half marathon. I'm like, if I'm doing like 4.5 miles an hour, and I was kind of adding up how long it would take, and I'm like, you know, simple math. If you run faster, you'll finish a half marathon sooner, right? And it's not that I don't want to run the miles, it's just I really like running, but really, does anybody, I shouldn't say this, does anybody run 2 hours a day? I'm sure there's some people that do that. You know, I like to run, and maybe half an hour run is great, an hour run is cool, but on a regular basis, you know, running 2.5 hours is just not in the norm. That's what is intimidating to me, because I haven't trained enough. I haven't followed that training enough and done enough of my long runs. And so that's the only thing that intimidates me about my first half marathon, is that, you know, right now I can nail a 30-minute run, which is still a big deal for me, and I can do an hour run, but thinking about, you know, finishing and not stopping. But you know, if you're in a half marathon, you're allowed to stop, right? You're allowed to stop and walk and then start again. So I need to just get over it, because remember, that's what happens when we let fear creep in, negativity. So that was kind of the only thing, and I think that was going through my head today as I was running, because I was feeling so crappy, and I'm like, what if I feel crappy the morning of my marathon? But you know what, that's just doubt, and that's just the devil trying to get into you going, oh, you can't do it, you can't do that. Guess what? I can, and I will. So, I have to let you guys go, because I've rambled enough, but week's going great. You probably won't hear from me tomorrow, because of being out of town, but then, and then just bear with me, because, like I said, whole bunch of stuff going on here, but I should be back on Saturday, and I'm gonna be in Vegas next week. You know, that's my favorite place to go. Like shoveling snow. Vegas is my favorite place to go. Outside of Danielle, my bestie who lives there, and Thomas, I love you too. Vegas is just not my gig, but we'll still have fun, and we're gonna work out like crazy, and get ready for our run, and that's all there is to it. So no excuses. I will see you guys tomorrow. You're all awesome. Thank you for the well wishes, and I'm so sorry that you're seeing me in such a pasty white. It's just gross. No, it's not gross. I just need to go tanning. See, I know exactly, Amy, I know exactly what you're gonna write. You can't say that you're gross. That's right, I'm fabulous. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Bye.